Hello, and welcome to this video. In this video, we will be talking about the Ivy approach for PS questions. The Ivy approach was invented by Max Lee in the year 2002. I am speaking on the behalf of Max Lee. Background and meaning of the Ivy approach. 1. I determined to come up with a new approach after reading the explanations for PS questions in the official guide. Though explained thoroughly, they were too long and time-consuming to be effective during the exam. 2. The conventional approach, official guide, follows these steps: explaining the question, then converting questions into variables, then setting up equations, then calculations, then getting the answer. By coming up with a concept of axioms in the Ivy approach, I shortened the steps into the following: explaining the question, then setting up equations, then calculations, then getting the answer. I was able to lessen the number of steps, which minimizes the likelihood of making mistakes. I call my approach the Ivy approach. The approach suggested by the official guide is way too inefficient. 3. The Ivy approach avoids using random variables like X, Y, and Z. Instead, it uses letters representing actual words found in the questions. 4. This approach recommends using initials instead of words, which helps minimize confusion and decrease the likelihood of making mistakes. 5. To minimize confusion caused by using decimal points when solving questions, the Ivy approach proposes using 100s, or LCM, least common multiples, in place of decimal points. 6. To deal properly with the conditional probability questions, which frequently appear as PS questions on the GMAT, I developed the local ratio method as part of the Ivy approach. 7. To help understand the saltwater logic, which frequently appears as PS questions on the GMAT, I developed the EET, each, together, as part of the Ivy approach. 8. Many Ivy League schools are known for their top MBA programs, such as Wharton and Harvard Business School. I decided to call my method the Ivy approach because I am confident that by using my Ivy approach, students can get into top Ivy League MBA schools. I studied incessantly to determine how students can get more correct answers for the PS questions. The Ivy approach is the result of my efforts. Effectiveness of the Ivy approach. 1. Saving time on problem solving. By using the Ivy approach to solve GMAT PS problems, students can save time. 2. Increasing the likelihood of answering questions correctly. By using the simplified steps, students can minimize confusion caused by many different steps and increase the likelihood of answering questions correctly. 3. Getting to high-level questions early during the exam. PS questions frequently appear in the earlier part of the exam. By answering them correctly, students can get to high-level questions to achieve high overall scores. 4. Getting acclimated to the CAT. Since PS questions appear more frequently than DS questions, students get used to using the CAT quickly by solving PS questions correctly. 5. Connection to the variable approach for DS questions. When solving PS problems, it is important to understand the question, find variables, and convert the question into equations. This is also the skill necessary for solving DS questions when using the variable approach. So, the Ivy approach and the variable approach are connected. Improving skills for one approach helps build skills for the other. 6. Gaining perspective on the overall structure of the GMAT math. Students gain perspective on the overall structure of the GMAT math by learning the main concepts of the Ivy approach, such as 2x2 tables, local ratio, initial, least common multiple, and EET. You can save time and have confidence. As this is a new approach, you should study it step by step.